Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So I promised in my 3 things that I've learnt this year video, the garden tag video that I did a couple of weeks ago, that I'd do a video on my carrot harvest and a video on how to make Gajar Halwa. If you've got a sweet tooth, keep watching and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is my old wheelbarrow that I've had for nearly 10 years, and it's falling apart. Everything's just falling apart. It's rusted, full of holes. So I'm giving it a final use and using it as a raised bed. And I used it this year to grow my carrots in. So let's start pulling these carrots and let's see what we've got. I should have got the kids out here to help me actually, because they would have enjoyed this. So we've got some baby carrots here. I'm going to just dump them in there to give them a wash. Just a tub of rainwater. So let's see what we're pulling. There's lots and lots of little baby carrots. Given how intensely we've grown them, they've done alright. They're not bad. Look, they're not bad. These are a bit better. Yep, these are alright. That one, that's lovely. Nice and big. It's a bit wonky, but it's nice and big. I think some big ones over here towards the centre. They're a bit. They're all sort of a few inches, but for what we're going to do with them, they're going to be perfect. Yeah, there's some alright ones here. They're all good for baby carrots. That's fine. Some good ones there. So I've got my carrots that I harvested, and what I'm doing, because we're going to use this in a process of cooking, so I'm going to take all the small carrots that aren't going to be really, they're going to be hard to use for other things and store. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all of these. The rest of the ingredients that you're going to need are some ghee. You can use olive oil, you can use coconut oil, but if you want to really bring out the flavour, then use ghee. It's pure butter. It's absolutely brilliant. It's not the healthiest thing in the world. It's just like butter, but it's gorgeous. Now, I've got some almond flakes, and I've got some mixed dried fruit. You can use any dried fruit in this that you like. Raisins, cranberries, anything that you like, you can add it to it. It'll give it that little contrast with the flavours. And what I've got is some cashews as well. I'm going to start off by just removing the ends of the carrots, so where the stalk was, in the end. And I won't bore you with me doing the whole bowl full, but we'll just remove the ends one by one. Now, if you wanted to, you could peel them, and these really don't need peeling. I mean, a little scrape with a knife like that will just take off all the little hairy roots that are still attached. They don't really need it. Personal choice. If you want to do it, then you can do it. So you can just take the outer skin off like that. It's not absolutely necessary. I'm not going to do it, but I'm just showing you that you can. Okay? So now that I've got my carrots prepped, all the waste can go into the compost pile. That's perfect for the compost pile. That'll break down really quick. I'm going to give these a good wash now. Make sure they're nice. Get rid of any of that dirt. Oh, there's one that I missed. So give them a good wash. See, we're having loads of rain at the moment, but that water that we've just washed the carrots in, that would be perfect for watering plants. So I'm going to save that and I'm going to add it to my compost pile that I've built in my greenhouse. The hotbed that I've made in my greenhouse, I'm going to add it to that so the water doesn't go to waste. So I'm going to use a food processor to grate these. Now, if these were a bit bigger, then I'd use a hand grater. But because they're a bit small and they're going to be quite fiddly to grate with that by hand, I'm going to use the food processor. So I just attach the grating attachment. So I've had to switch blades because the other food processor, all the carrots were, because they're small carrots, they're slipping through the sides. So I'm just using the normal blade to chop them rather than grate them. Done. So that's my carrots all nicely chopped. So there we go, nicely chopped carrots. So the first thing that I'm going to add is I'm going to add some ghee. Now, because this has been in the fridge, it can be quite hard. Now, if I was using a metal spoon, what I could have done was I could have heated the metal spoon up to get this ghee out. I think that's about enough ghee. That's a nice knob of butter there. Now, the unique thing about ghee as opposed to butter, it has a really nice fragrance. The smell of it is absolutely gorgeous. The spices that I'm going to add to this are some cardamom. You can't have this kind of dish without cardamom. It adds an amazing flavour, absolutely gorgeous. A few pieces of cinnamon, so it's a nice stick of cinnamon that I've taken and I've broken it up a little bit. And a few bay leaves. You don't have to be exact with these, just add them. The more you add, the stronger the flavour is going to be. So now that my spices are bubbling away in the ghee, it's good to always cook the spices, especially when you're using Indian spices. It's good to always cook the spices first, because that really brings out the flavour and really makes it quite intense, rather than adding them to the main thing. So now that I've got the spices bubbling away, I'm going to start adding my carrots. So just scrape the lid. You don't want to waste any, just give that lid a little scrape, get everything out of there. All my carrots can just go in. Give that a nice stir once it's all in. Turn the heat up. So my handy assistant has just turned the heat up for me. Now what we're doing here is we're going to wilt these carrots and get all the sort of moisture that's inside the carrots, get that to dehydrate onto here. It's going to take about 15 minutes on a medium heat, just sizzling away for these carrots to get cooked. So now that it's had a stir, I'm going to cover it up and leave it. So you want to keep checking up on it every few minutes so it doesn't start to burn. You can keep giving it a little stir again. I can smell the carrots and I can smell the ghee and I can smell the spices in there, all coming out lovely. So now I'm going to add some desiccated coconut. This is just, this is another nice little thing when I like to add to this. Gives it a really good taste. I can see the carrots are now lovely cooking away there. So now that the carrots are starting to, they're about half cooked now. Now I'm going to add some more of my ingredients. The carrots on their own are quite sweet, but they're not quite sweet enough for me. So you can sweeten this dish up with anything you like. You can use sugar. I mean, brown sugar's pretty good for this. You can use honey. You can use syrup. But today what I'm going to use is I'm going to use some molasses, date molasses. So I'm just going to add a nice big dollop. And at the same time, turn the heat down a little bit. I'm going to add, oof, you can see the steam coming off now that the molasses are coming. Now I'm going to add some condensed milk. So about half a can of condensed milk. You can use ordinary milk if you like. It's got a little bit too hot, so just take it off the heat a little bit and cool it down. I'll turn the heat right down. You can use condensed milk, you can use cream, you can use ordinary milk if you want, but I do like the condensed milk for this. So that's about half a can in there. Now I've got it on a low heat there. Now what I've done is I've turned the heat down and I'm going to just leave it to simmer on low heat and cook through. I'll cover it up and just leave it like that. And in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to cook through, so my cashews from earlier, I'm just going to chop them up. You can get cashew flakes if you like. You can get roughly chopped is fine. You don't have to be precise with this. It's all fine. So I've got my cashews, I've got my raisins, I've got my almond flakes. Now that this has had a few minutes on the heat, give it another stir. What you want is the carrots to suck up all that moisture that's in there now from the milk. I'm going to add my cashews and my raisins, and I'm going to add my almond flakes. I'm going to leave that on a very low heat for about another 10 minutes. But do come back and keep watching it. You just need to make sure that it's not burning. So do come back and give it a stir, give it a little tinkle every sort of few minutes. But it's going to take about another 10 minutes for that to cook through and we'll be ready to have some Gajar Halwa. There we go, look at that. It looks lovely. I'll just serve that up. So I'll turn the heat off on that. And I'll serve that up. A little bit of coconut to garnish. A couple of almond flakes on top, and there we go. A couple of almond flakes on top, and there we go. And I'll just get a spoon and I'll give it a taste. Bismillah. So get this cream in at the side as well. Bismillah. That's lovely. See, Gajar Halwa or Gajarela is one of my favourites. and you can tell I'm a happy boy. So I'll leave it there for this one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.